Take that.
Daddy. So
that was too easy.
I wasn't even aware. I wasn't even aware that this Diddy thing was a thing until like probably a few months ago when I heard him and 50 Cent were beefing. And apparently they were beefing. This beef's been going on for years, which I had no idea about. And then I started doing little deep dives here and there the last couple of months and just kind of see, okay, Diddy, what's going on with him now? And apparently there's a rabbit hole here, man. I'm like, holy hell. And apparently I'm talking to people, legit people that, yeah, this dude is kind of off his rocker a little bit. And yeah, so they wasn't out. So this past Monday, the FBI raided his homes in LA and in Miami. He reportedly, I don't know if it's true or not, took a plane to the islands. Now, this I've heard that that's probably not the case anymore. Are you frozen, by the way? I think you're frozen. Yeah, I think you're frozen, bro. Yeah, I think you're frozen. Let me. All right, Denny's back. We had a little internet.
Apologies
there. So the FBI raided his home in LA and in Miami. I don't know. What do you know about this situation? Like historically speaking, have you followed this at all for years?
Yes.
Or something? Okay.
Yes.
What's factual so far that we?
Well, you're blessed to have me today because I watched Sean Combs' whole career. I grew up on his music. Mm-hmm. I know it all. So let me keep it short and sweet. Mm-hmm. Diddy has been accused. So keep it short and sweet. Diddy recently was accused in the past year of sexual trafficking, allegedly accused of sexual trafficking by a former protege / artist called Cassie, who was on Bad Boy. She put in a civil suit and described sexual trafficking, described abuse, etc. And he settled within 24 hours.
Right, remember that.
Sean Combs. After that, there have been some victims as well coming out and saying Diddy, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Love, whatever name you want, you Puff Daddy, whatever name you want to use. He has been continuously doing this, so much so that a new superseding indictment, well, not so much indictment, but civil suit. This producer that just came out suing for $30 million, and he's suing Diddy. Obviously mentioning sex trafficking. In this particular, I read 50 of this 73 document, 50 of this 73-page document, 50 pages of 73-page document. This guy has pictures. This guy has names, references. And it's a RICO case from what I've read. Now, RICO, if you're not familiar, RICO is used for the mafia. RICO is used for high-end drug dealers. Your Meeches, your John Gotti's. They use RICO. It was created because they really can't get Diddy at the top if he's directing people under him to get him drugs, to get him sex workers, etc., to do transportation. That is all. So they're doing RICO's an easy net.
Right.
Just pick everybody up and then charge them charge them under the RICO. Having stated all that, his actual legacy when it comes to being outside, when it comes to attention, that's over. He's a leper now. That's over. He's not going to have the same love Diddy. He's not going to have the same love that he's had before, and that's strictly based on, you could say, the payout from Cassie, because you paid out, then said these allegations were false. But we've had a long history of Sean Combs paying out and ducking criminal activity, whether it's a shooting with J-Lo in Club New York in New York City, where he was on trial for a shooting and he got off and Sean got sent away for 10 years, or it's beating up Steve Stout, who was a record executive at one point. And this is early on. And Steve Stout, You Can Hate Me Now, the Nas video. Yes, Diddy was an original, and it was MTV. MTV was this huge thing. MTV, TRL, Total Request Live. MTV had videos. This was when videos were big then, and it was big money spent, $1 million videos. And he told Steve Stout that he wanted to actually not do the video anymore. It was already shot and it was already approved. And Steve Stout said, no, it's already on the way. He sent some goons, showed up Steve Stout and beat him up. And he had to pay Steve Stout So we have all these allegations, allegedly, and now we're here. They raided his house, and the common thread is here. They don't raid your house to say we're here, we're looking for something. They raid your house because they're saying we have something, we want to confirm and add more to what we have. So whether it's him, Diddy, Sean Combs selling Revolt, his piece of the pie, to the owner of Essence magazine, from what I read today, or is him actually divesting from Ciroc or settling his lawsuit with Ciroc, and he's not being attached to more to them anymore. His name is now Poo Poo, and it's all being brought on by himself. It's all him. He has no one else to look at. No one else to look at but himself in the mirror.
As someone that's followed his career closely, and I followed him too, but nowhere as close as you did. Did you suspect shit like this, like was going on for years?
Well, let me clarify what I
because the vibe from people was that there's been smoke for a long time with this guy.
Well, let me confirm what I suspected. Did I suspect Diddy was a violent man based on the Steve Stout situation and the Club New York shooting? Yes, I absolutely did. Then you have a situation where obviously we don't know what J-Lo did. J-Lo was there with him, but Cassie, in her civil suit that I read, she would be given guns by Diddy to hold in her purse. Why? Because they're not searching Cassie. So they're going to clubs and Cassie's holding a gun and drugs for Diddy. Who's to say allegedly J-Lo didn't hold a gun for Diddy when she was in the club? These things, when you say where there's smoke, there's fire. Yes, absolutely. And then here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, EJ. With the internet, it's perpetuity. It's for life. Right. So they're in this new indictment that I read last night. They're pulling up information of videos that I've watched on Vlad TV, on Art of the Dialogue. These are other YouTube channels where you'll have Mark Curry, who was a former artist.
Yeah.
Mark Curry, former artist on Bad Boy, suggesting that in a club they have 4 bottles here, 4 bottles here. The 4 bottles on the left are mixed with drugs. The 4 bottles on the right are regular. And they're handing out these 4 bottles of drugs to women. That is stated in the actual civil suit as well as on video. Then you have pictures. Once again, you have pictures supporting. So this gentleman that's suing Diddy said, hey, listen, he brought Cuba Gooding Jr. over to me to try and assault me.
Yeah, he's also on allegation assault now too. On top
he's in there too as well. And once again, just to land this plane, for me, the fireworks aren't beginning. These aren't the fireworks. The fireworks are going to begin when subpoenas go out. When you're subpoenaed and called in to say something under oath and they dare you to lie so they can arrest your ass. Shout out to Little Kim. Under oath, lied, went to jail for a year. It was like, Kim, Kimberly Jones, we see you on tape. This is you right here.
Yeah.
This is a fact. We see you on tape. You are there. No, it wasn't. You know you're under oath. We'll send you to jail. I don't care. Send me to jail. Little Caesar's like, I'm a snitch. We're all on tape. Why are you getting mad at me? Because I said, yeah, that's me. This is what happened. This is what happened. Again, subpoenas are going to go out. And now, whether it's the manager under Diddy, whether it's Lucian Grange, who's the Universal Music Group, he's in the actual indictment too. Whether it's the head of Motown, she's in an indictment too. These are all people that are in indictments. Subpoenas happen. That's when it's going to get spicy.
So it's going to get worse, in other words.
Because these folks are going to have to either confirm or deny what's been put in this. And then also it's a civil. So who's to say that Diddy doesn't just turn around and just say, okay, here's 30 million again. And then say, it wasn't me. Pull a Shaggy. Wasn't me.
Right.
Here's 30 million. Wasn't me. We have time. Because he's not the only person on that. There's a Jane Doe, and her name's been thrown out. There's a Jane Doe who, again, 16, saying that she was sexually assaulted by Diddy. and
so that's what I'm saying. There's also minors involved as well too. Minors involved in this as well.
Minors from back, years ago that the victim was a minor when it happened.
What is it? The whole thing. They kept saying something about Justin Bieber. What is it? What is that angle like about?
Apparently, no different than Diddy. No different than Sean Combs actually being a mentor to Usher. He was a mentor to Bieber. So there's a video online going around, and once again, internet.
But is it an insinuation, or is it something that
insinuation? It's an insinuation. You pull up videos. You pull a video of him and Bieber having a conversation. Bieber's like 15 at the time.
Okay,
15, 14, and they're having a conversation, and it looks awkward. It looks awkward. It just looks weird looking back. But again, there are videos that just look weird. Diddy, Usher, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's just like, yo, what'd you say? You were fighting over Frosted Flakes with Usher. What? That sounds stupid. What did you just say?
Now you're insinuating pedophilia now.
Diddy,
not you. No, it's not you. I'm saying like
no. Again, it just once again we have scenarios where Diddy's been around certain individuals, certain kids, certain individuals, and said weird things, whether it's the Locks, Jadakiss, Fabulous, and Diddy. There's a video with Nori. There's a Drink Champs video, and Diddy's insinuating that Fab should party with him, and Fab's like, "Yo, what? I feel uncomfortable." Jadakiss is sitting there like, whatever. And then shout out to Mace too, because you have to realize also too that what this executive producer that's suing Diddy said was he uses his influence, Diddy, to make you believe like, okay, if you do this, look at Stevie J. He's a famous producer. Yeah. He has a long list. Look at all the artists I've put on. But if you really sit back and actually analyze Diddy's roster, you have to, and I asked myself, I said, who had managers on Diddy's roster? And I said to myself, wow, that's interesting. The only two people that have managers, their careers went an interesting way.
Right.
Mace had a manager. See how that turned out. Craig Mack had a manager. See how that turned out. Biggie's, when I say manager that's not affiliated with Bad Boy.
Right.
Not a conflict of interest.
Right.
Mace and Craig Mack were the outliers. Everybody else had a conflict of interest with management, all dealing with Bad Boy.
Right.
And then we're having questions about money and questions about what's owed and this, down, and third. That's on purpose because everything is under the same umbrella. Lawyers, managers, all under the same umbrella. So to land this plane with Mr. Sean Combs, he has a history of being violent. You can't say he doesn't have that. Right. And he is going to, his legacy has been tarnished. I don't know how far is it going to go when it comes to his music being heard on the radio, because he comes from the golden era of hip hop and he's on almost every single, whether it's a remix, whether it's he's in the background doing ad libs, take that. So it's a sad day. There's a lot of our musical greats, R. Kelly, Diddy. It's a different conversation now than it was 15 years ago.
Yeah. And I always suspected too. With I'm not saying that he's the reason he passed away, but I always suspected Diddy would have some sort of involvement in Biggie's murder.
Well, which is interesting that you say that, because I've always been I've done deep dives. I've watched every single thing associated with that. So to keep it simple, let's just play this game.
Okay.
Let's just play a game. Okay, Diddy. We're going back to where Diddy and Biggie's Biggie, and Diddy's. They're all. It's live. Bad Boy is huge, right? To think now. Shout out to Gene Deal, who was Puffy's bodyguard, who I'm getting all this information from, and he said he's done multiple interviews, over 10. Every interview is the same story, every single one, never deviates, right? Biggie wasn't even supposed to be in LA. based on everything Gene Deal's saying. He wants, based on Kurt Burrows, he was supposed to be in London. That's number one. Number two, you know it's the height of your disrespect with the West Coast, and your principal guy really doesn't have any bodyguards. You do. You're getting warnings in LA that they're going to come for you. You do nothing. Gene Deal warns you because he got a call from jail.
Right.
You do nothing. And then you have a guy saying, yeah, we were told, Keefe D, we were told to get rid of Tupac and Suge Knight, and we were going to get paid. Now, let's be clear. Do I think Diddy had something to do with his murder? No. Do I think he was liable? Yes.
Okay, that's the right word to use, right?
Liable? Yes. And he lied when he said Biggie wanted to go to LA. That's a lie. So why are you lying? That's the question. Why are you lying? Why Gene Deal? Gene Deal said Biggie's mom was told by Puffy. Biggie mom asked, because Gene Deal's been saying all this stuff. Yeah, I saw this, I saw that, I saw that. Biggie's mom, Valletta Wallace, bless her soul, asked Diddy, who's Gene Deal? She said, Puffy said, I don't know who Gene Deal is. Why are you lying? My guess is, rest her soul, Mrs. Wallace is going to have to pass before we really get an actual, we know, we pretty much have a direct aim on who actually was responsible for the Biggie murder. So you're talking about LAPD. You're talking about them being liable, the LAPD. I'm just hoping that, you know, they actually put pen to paper and say this actually happened versus innuendos, because you have an actual FBI agent saying the LAPD was being dirty when it came to the Biggie investigation.
I mean, we have traction on the Tupac thing now. I mean, now we haven't got much on the Biggie front. So
yeah,
maybe this situation could open some can of worms too. Also, we'll see.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever get an official answer to. Shout out to, you know, obviously Jam Master Jay. We got an official conviction.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
official conviction with Jam Master Jay. We're not going to get that with Biggie, because I think LAPD was liable, and if they put that to paper, there's no way they could put to paper that they weren't liable, because they had LAPD actually being on death row security force.
Right.
And there were too many coincidences involved with that night for them to say the LAPD wasn't involved.
Right. All right. One last thing to get you out of here. This has been a great podcast today. Candace Owens.